Hello everyone, this is Crota coming at you, giving you game 1 in a series between Xiaokai and Yumiko. Yumiko spawning as the yellow human player here at the 10 o'clock position, meanwhile Xiaokai spawning as the orange undead. As you guys have already noticed, this is going to be Twisted Meadows and obviously an undead versus human matchup. Now, I've been reading some of the comments out there and a lot of people have been saying like, you know what, why... Could you at least start telling us what the players are thinking when they're casting these or they're playing these particular games and what they're trying to do? And that's actually something I cannot do. In this day and age, a lot of the times the casters at professional tournaments have access to players and can ask them specific strategies and figure out what are you trying to do in this particular instance, or what are you thinking? And that's one of the ways that those players can actually say, or those players can know that, hey, that's actually what he's trying to do. Instead, because I cannot figure out what the player is trying to do, all I can do is make assumptions and predict what's going to be happening and what needs to be done in order to respond. So I just wanted to put that out there. Yes, I would like to be able to interview these players as they're playing or right after they're playing games, ask them specific questions and get to know them a little bit more. But short of me starting to really fly around the world and cast WarCraft 3 games, that is something that will just end up being a pipe dream for me. Anyways, a Robe of Magi dropped down for the Archmage of Yumiko, which is going to be very helpful. You can see that he's already sitting at 450 mana. That mana regeneration is particularly high. I believe he also picked up a mantle, not a mantle, a Tome of Intelligence. So that the intelligence on that Archmage is in fact really, really high there. 30 intelligence already at this stage in the game, and I believe it's normally only at 22 at this point. So that's 8 extra damage that Archmage is doing. I know it may not sound like a lot, but the 8 additional damage is pretty much equivalent to an extra footman based on the range and how often that Archmage attacks. Now let's go ahead and make a look at the undead base. Let's take a look at his. He is not yet taking the tier 2. You can see that he is trading up a little bit more ghouls, and the Death Knight is just looking to try and apply more pressure. He knows that he cannot allow this Archmage to freely creep up to level 3, otherwise the additional mana advantage is just going to be too much. Ghouls are now making their way, and they're going to be able to take down this Null Overseer creep camp rather quickly, while more skeletal minions are just applying pressure inside this base. Yes, it is going to give a little bit of free experience to the Archmage, but the Archmage would have gotten that experience anyways if he was out trying to creep this orange creep camp. So that is going to be a little bit of a benefit here, as the Death Knight will get to level 2 off of this creep camp. Hopefully he doesn't lose this ghoul. Yes, he was able to dodge that there and now take down a Null Overseer, picking up Gloves of Haste, and we'll see what his tier 2 transition will be. You can see a graveyard is being placed down, as we know that Crypt Fiends will be coming, and he wants to get to tier 2 as quickly as possible, as the undead players really need tier 2 and also tier 3 to make any profound impact. Yumiko, on the other hand, is looking to set up an expansion and really wants to do that rather quickly. Arcane Tower is in position. Skeletal minions are now out, and that could be a little bit of a problem here. The ghouls are now trying to make their way out. As you can see, one militia will get taken down. There is only one Arcane Tower, and that Arcane Tower is doing a good job trying to attack these ghouls, but you got to remember that the Arcane Tower is really there for skeletal minions. This is not the right target to be, as another peasant gets taken down. There goes one peasant there, as the militia are trying to fight back, and you can see that the low hit point ghouls of Xiaokai are being pulled back and being microed a bit. This is actually a little bit risky for Xiaokai. It looks like one ghoul is going to get taken down. It looks like the remaining ghouls are not going to get taken down there. Very, very close, as the ghouls are now being able to run all the way back home. Meanwhile, during this time here, the Death Knight was surrounded there and ended up being forced to use a Scroll of Town portal to head back home. Always very difficult to try and micro 2 bases or 2 locations at once, and that's what ended up happening there. The Death Knight now sitting with a rod of 2 rods of necromancy, gonna be picking up Staff of Teleportation and Boots of Speed. No surprise, but that Death Knight is low on life. This expansion needs to be started. Arcane Vault tower and town hall, all within the realm of possibility. As you can see, the Death Knight now making its rounds once more. There is an army of footmen and one lone water elemental, but he will end up disappearing before any real damage is dealt. Skeletal minions now making their way out once again. Arcane Tower is upgrading as the, a 1 peasant down to 2 hit points and now trying to get away, but that gold sack is going to slow him down. Xiaokai doing a good job limiting the possibility of an expansion here, but the Death Knight does have to be extremely careful. Archmage now dropping on another water elemental, and during this time, is Yumiko setting up to tier 2? No, he is not. He is invested in this expansion, and he wants to save the gold for that expansion here. You can see that that lone peasant is the 1 peasant that is left. There is also 3 more militia that are down, ready to go, and I believe once this Arcane Tower is up, the Death Knight is not going to have enough units to really put any pressure. Footmen now looking to pull back here. We are at Halls of the Dead, going into the slaughterhouse. No surprise, obsidian statues. Lich should be trained up as well, and we'll see when the Black Citadel upgrade will be coming in. Black Citadel, very, very important for that Orb of Corruption. Orb of Corruption with that -5 armor, so important at slowing down those footmen and allowing the Crypt Fiends to start picking off units. We do see heavy investment from Xiaokai into these ghouls, and I'm wondering whether or not we're going to get into a very, very large experience bonus for Yumiko. If Yumiko keeps on killing ghouls, then those ghouls are just going to really, really feed that Archmage and potentially Mountain King if the time ever comes. All right, you can take a look here. Archmage using this mercenary camp should be picking up a Troll Shadow Priest. There he is already. Water Elemental, ooh, very, very nicely done. Microing himself away from the Ogre Warrior, so he is still absorbing damage as we see a Frost Nova quickly come in. Wow, that Lich quickly steals a bit of experience. Death Knight now down to 84 hit points, down to 61 as he gets to level 3. Level 3 on the Death Knight. Are we going to see perhaps the Lich come back over? We can see level 4 now on the Archmage, as we didn't have a Death Coil from the Death Knight. That was a huge, huge mistake there, as the Death Knight now getting slowed. Staff of Teleportation isn't going to make it. No, it does not, as the Death Knight falls at level 3, and that may pretty much be it. Slow coming down, the hero of the game, a Mud Golem being purchased from the mercenary camp to slow things up, and now things are just going from bad to worse. All right, Mud Golem not bothering the chase after that Crypt Fiend there. Archmage wants to go in for the kill. Economic advantage for Yumiko, hero advantage for Yumiko. Only big advantage is the tech advantage for Xiaokai. Xiaokai hoping and relying on Nerubian Tower and Halls of the Dead to provide a little bit of extra defense, and also that Blight that he's fighting on. Blight very, very beneficial to the undead army, but the Ghoul is currently stuck and getting taken down again. This is turning into a very, very poor showing by Xiaokai. Xiaokai is in definite trouble as the Lich now gets surrounded. All right, Lich in serious trouble here. He's down to 160 hit points as the Death Knight comes in from the shop and was able to use a Death Coil onto the Lich. Lich has survived just a little bit. There is a second Death Coil as we look like the Lich may be able to sneak his way out. Lich stays alive ever so barely as the Archmage now down to 181 hit points himself. Crypt Fiends are in a little bit of trouble, gonna start burrowing, and Xiaokai has somehow turned things around. A beautiful, beautiful play. That Death Knight seemingly coming out of nowhere, and now that Lich is at level 2. A beautiful, beautiful showing. I cannot believe it. I thought this game and Xiaokai was already on the ropes. Instead, Xiaokai comes back in with a Death Knight resurrected at the tavern, uses a potion of mana for the 2 Death Coils to save a level 1 Lich, get him to level 2, as Yumiko now sits at level, well, will be at level 5 with a solo hero. Keep now being upgraded as well. You can see there are plenty of guard towers here, And this is a question that I get asked from time to time. How far apart should human players be placing their guard towers? The closer together they are, I guess the more protection you have as they can cover each other, but the closer together they are, the more powerful destroyers become, as destroyers are able to splash damage and eat through this heavy armor. Alright, it looks like the Mud Golem gets taken down there. Lich already about 2 1/4 up, about to take down, a skeleton, or the Troll Shadow Priest there. Water Elemental is now trying to fight back here, and this is a side effect for the Death Knight. The Death Knight actually healing the Obsidian statue. Yes, that Obsidian statue is a mechanical unit, but because of the Unholy Aura, gets a little bit of passive regeneration. However, Yumiko is digging in the trenches, ready to take on this blitzkrieg of a small attack hitting from base to base, and it looks like even though we saw a very good showing from Xiaokai, Yumiko is just getting too many resources behind him, and things may get a little bit shady for Xiaokai in just a second. Archmage hoping to perhaps catch this Obsidian statue on the far side, running around the map, and if he can catch that Obsidian statue, that would be a potential huge blow. Oh, it's right there, and he lost sight of it. I cannot believe it. He lost sight of that Obsidian statue, did not catch it in time, and there you have it, a little bit of a lucky break for Xiaokai, as that Obsidian statue would have given more experience and would not have ended up becoming a destroyer. That Obsidian statue with so much mana, gonna be difficult to take down. We are now going into meat wagons to try and take down the sheer number of guard towers that we have. Yumiko has a lot of stationary defense. It will be difficult to take it down, as we see a Staff of Teleportation now coming over. Alright, Death Knight arrives to the party, gonna go ahead and take down the water elementals pretty easily there. It looks like, yes, one water elemental now down. Second water elemental gonna get taken down. So many acolytes just staying over time and doing a good repair job on that Obsidian statue. Back over here, Gargoyle trying to hang out in the air, gonna quickly realize that he cannot do anything on this space. Meanwhile, the Mountain King has joined in on the fight, as we're going to tier 3 for that Archmage. Archmage quickly picks up a Clarity Potion, very low on mana. Sold the Robe of Magi, or was that given to the Mountain King? Nope, he sold that Robe of Magi, didn't want the additional +6 intelligence at all, as the Mountain King and Water Elemental attempting to take down the Forest High Troll Warlord. Mountain King would have gotten to level 2 off of this creep camp if the Archmage was not nearby, but Archmage stealing a bit of the necessary experience, and that may end up haunting Yumiko. Let's take a look at the undead army, using Blight here to try and stay up on life. I'm not quite sure why you would use a Sacrificial Skull in that instance, unless you wanted to place down some Ziggurats for some towers and also defend that. And 50 gold is I guess not that much to invest in, but you would want to put it in a place where you know you're going to fight more than once. Alright, triple Water Elementals, Spellbreakers are here. Meanwhile, Meat Wagon being pressured back already by one lone Militia. The Meat Wagon, as you know, is a very slow unit, as we are looking at the Lich and the Death Knight now coming in. Alright, Mountain King absorbing a whole bunch of damage. Potion of Invulnerability already being used. Destroyers now up in the air. Are we going to see Devour Magic? Yes, we are. Death Knight goes for the Death Coil onto the Mountain King. Mountain King already taken down, as now the Archmage may try to get away. Alright, let's take it down. Another Water Elemental taken down there. Alright, that Obsidian statue looks like it will get taken down. Oh, tries to go to Destroyer form. Does not make it. I'm not sure if the gold is refunded in that particular instance, as the Ogre Magi here are getting focused down. Alright, we can see that the Destroyer, Devour Magic's there. Gonna be able to fight back here once more, just constantly fighting down, taking down these units. Lich is at level 3, so a definite hero advantage now for the Archmage, as the Paladin is now out. Human tri-hero, but it's a level 5, level 1, compared to a level 4 and a level 3. The Lich being at level 3 adds so much more, and once that Death Knight gets to 5, you better believe in the nuking ability of this undead army. Oh, Destroyer very nearby. Are we going to see Devour Magic onto that Water Elemental? Get a little bit of experience, yes, and enough experience to get the Lich to level 4. Talk about a lucky break once more as the Lich tries to make its way over. Not going to be able to catch up to that Water Elemental. No real worry there. Meat Wagon taking an absolute beating here. Knights now joining out from Yumiko. A Frost Nova, not enough though, as the Mountain King himself gets to level 2. Flying Machine is out in the air. Are we perhaps going to see Web? That is a big question as the Paladin now trying to round the corner. Mountain King is sitting at level 2. Let's take a look at this. One peasant getting taken down there as we don't see any more Meat Wagons being trained. No more Meat Wagons, going straight into Obsidian statues and most likely Destroyers. The Destroyers pretty much losing their mana as we speak. The human player knows the best way to counter Destroyers with mana is by not fighting them, as the Destroyers with mana deal so much additional damage, but they lose that mana oh so quickly. Alright, Staff of Teleportation. Oh, what was that? Dropping an item, Staff of Sanctuary. You grab the Staff of Teleportation. Oh, there you go. You see another Dust of Appearance. That Crypt Fiend is going to have better days, but it looks like the rest of the army is there. We may see a Staff of Teleportation coming back to rejoin up with Yumiko's army. And the Mountain King and the Archmage just really need to work extra in order to just keep their army alive. Xiaokai doing a good job so far trying to finish off any of these straggling units. Beautifully done dropping a Water Elemental, but the Destroyers with that Unholy Aura more than fast enough to chase down the units, as the Death Knight going to get a little bit more experience once again. There it goes. Alright, Destroyer pretty much flying laps around the map. Economic advantage. Let's take a look. We are now going into Siege Engines. When in doubt, just go mass Siege Engines and hope that you can take down your opponent's base before your opponent can take you out. Staff of Sanctuary sending the Paladin back home here. It looks like that Paladin gets devoured magic. The Destroyers, however, devoured the Staff of Sanctuary buff, and now the Paladin can move. I don't know if I quite agree with that. You could perhaps focus it down and actually take down the Paladin, but you're not going to be seeing that now. Knight with 03 upgrades, 26% damage reduction even with the -5 armor. That 11 armor down to 6. Very big drop off there, as we're now looking at the Siege Engines attempting to take down the Spirit Towers and this base. Siege Engines, very big problem. We are going to get some Abominations. Perhaps we'll even see some, excuse me, where are they teleporting to? Oh, all right, teleporting back over here. You may even see some Meat Wagons trying to take down these Siege Engines here, as things are starting to slow down. All right, one Abomination making its way out. That Abomination now making its way over. You can see that the Nerubian Towers are getting just absolutely destroyed, as we are now upside down on supply for the Undead. Now, let's take a look at this. The Undead looking to do what it can, trying to creep out creep camps, get additional gold that way, and just perhaps get to level 5 for enough nuking power to take down the human army. Once the army is down, you could perhaps try and take down the rest of the bases unchecked, but this is still not looking good. Back over here, let's take a look at this. You can see that the Siege Engine is just absolutely not falling apart here. Yumiko doing a good job. It looks like one Siege Engine does go down, but there's still 3 more in the back, as the Crypt will get taken down. All we need now is perhaps a Meat Wagon or 2, a Slaughterhouse, double Slaughterhouses, but no real way to train up anything. All right, let's take a look. Another Scout Farm by Yumiko gonna get taken out here, but I think Xiaokai just was not ready to handle the economic advantage that Yumiko was able to amass, training up triple workshops. There is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 1.